Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and welcome back to the channel where all spooky season long we dive head first into the VHS horror aisles of our memories. And today we are digging up some serious skeletons with a special video, one of the original classics that kept us up all night long. We are going to rank the original 7 Nightmare on Elm Street movies from worst to best, and we're gonna do it while unveiling the brand new 4K Steelbook set of all of our Nightmare on Elm Street movie memories in beautiful 4K. So pop that tape in, I got you, let's go do this. All right, so I just got this beautiful set fresh off the Amazon truck, and now I have been preparing this video with clips to rank all of the original 7 Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Now, we're not getting into the remake from 2010, and we're not doing Freddy vs. Jason. Those are not included in this set, and we're gonna set those aside. We're going back to basically the Wes Craven era here that ended with A New Nightmare. We're going to go back to that, and with the help of unboxing these, I am going to go over each movie. We're going to start at number 7 and rank them all the way down to what I consider the best number 1 Nightmare on Elm Street movie of all time. So let's jump right in by opening this thing up. We will look at it more in depth at the end of the rankings as well. And I will do a full 4K review of all of these movies on my Patreon. The information's down below to join the Patreon. I will run a discount code. All of that information will be in the description below if you want to see all of the 4K reviews of all of these movies and more, with film and video deep dives, actual film from the movie, all that kind of stuff. We'll do it all. But today we are ranking these movies and showing off this beauty. So first thing you notice is it has a steel outer case, and it has this kind of like a J card slip. So this is going to tell everything that's in it here. And we're going to set that aside for right now. And here is the film itself. Now, it looks like it's got scratches on it. It doesn't. It's like residue. But here are all the steel books. And as I rank the movies, we will go over each one that I pull out. And at the end, we'll take a look at all of it a little bit more. So let's jump right to the rankings. Grab your crucifix, drink your coffee, whatever you need to stay awake, because we're starting with number 7 in 1989's The Dream Child. Now let me grab this out of here. All right, here we go. Now these are all cool steel books. That is the back. It's a very flat sheen. We have some cool artwork here. Very awesome. And that is inside. You have your beautiful 4K restored movie. And we're kicking this one off with, this one tried gothic horror, basically. And that atmosphere should pull me in. But you also have Freddy's wisecracks in here. You have a kind of creepy pregnancy subplot, all in one messy dream in The Dream Child. It's not without its charm. The effects in this movie are still wild. Freddy is literally skateboarding in this one. The insane comic book kill in this one is cool. And of course, the grotesque, nightmarish like birth in the opening. But the tone for this one is kind of all over the place. It is too dark. It's way too dark for Freddy's campy MTV style that he had kind of started developing by then, but it's still too goofy for kind of genuine scares. But the kind of maybe the worst part of this is the movie where Alice from part 4 returns, and instead of building her into another franchise final girl, the film just kind of squanders that a little bit. Maybe there was a little Freddy fatigue going on here. It's still fun. It's a cult fun rewatch, but for me, it's still kind of towards the bottom here. But I mean, Freddy movies, Nightmare on Elm Street, to me, are kind of like pizza. Even if it's bad, still pretty good. Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, comes in at the bottom of our list at number 7. But check out that Steelbook. Very, very cool. All right. Slide that back in to take a look at later. And we're going to number 6 here with dun, da, 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 A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge from 1985. A very cool looking steelbook here. I actually am a big fan of this flat sheen on these. You see the back there. And the inside. Now, okay, this one is kind of very famous. This is the second outing for Freddy, or maybe somewhat infamous. Freddy's Revenge kind of ditches the dream kill angle for a more of a possession story, which I never thought actually fit really well. You also have Freddy like trying to break into the real world through a teenager. I never felt like that fit either. And on its release, a lot of people thought it was a mess. Fans really didn't know what to make of this one. There is the whole thing where it has its own undertones to it that people have talked about to death. There is like whole documentaries about that. The film has aged more as a cult favorite. It's now a lot of people embrace it for those things, but it has full on 80s vibe sequences of that kind of stuff. Jesse literally screaming like a scream queen. And is it scary? Not really to me. Freddy is more dark here maybe than in some of the others, but does Freddy, in gym shorts terrorizing kids at a pool party kind of thought scare you? There's the sequences on the bus, all of that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool, but it's kind of just off kilter for me. It's unforgettable now for a lot of reasons. Fans called it very weird then. It's kind of a black sheep of the Elm Street entries. Is maybe ahead of its time on some things. It's chaotic. It is not my favorite. If I sat here and thought about it, it may even switch place with Dream Child. I'm going to leave it right here at number 6, though. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Take a look at that steelbook, though. All right, coming in at number 5, we go to the 90s and 1991's. Let me see if I can get it out of here. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Check out that steelbook there. Very cool once again. The inside. This, of course, we're going to get our 3D glasses with because of the 3D element to this film. Very cool. By this time, I was about to be a teenager. Freddy was not just a horror icon by that time. He was practically a Saturday morning cartoon. He was so famous. He had a Freddy hotline, all kinds of stuff. He was MTV staple. And Freddy's Dead leans hard into that. I was trying to see here. You have cameos in this one by Roseanne and Tom Arnold. You have goofy dream sequences in this one. A final act that tried to get the 3D back in the theaters. That's why you have those glasses in there. There's actually a 3D scene that I'm not sure if it makes it in here or whatever. There's a lot going on with this film. Don't get me wrong, it is campy fun. You've got Freddy cracking Looney Tunes style jokes, playing Nintendo with his victims, putting on a power glove in this one is kind of hilarious, but it takes the menace away from it because it's so kind of fun. And the movie was marketed as Freddy's Big Goodbye, but it kind of comes off playing more as a parody of Freddy than of Freddy himself. Still, it's ranked up a little higher because it is just So much fun to watch with a group of friends and some drinks. But as an actual Elm Street film, it's kind of more towards the bottom end of the rankings here. Still a blast. I enjoy it, and this is a badass 4K Steelbook. More on that later. All right, so coming in at number 4, this one I saw in the theater, and it was actually the second one I saw in the theater. I do remember now, 1988, we have A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Man, let me see if I can get this where you guys can see the text on the side. We'll open it up and let you look inside there. Got some Freddy art. Here is the thing with this one, and I'm just noticing it's kind of hard to read the info on the sides, but here's where things get bright, colorful, and very, very MTV-like with Freddy. The Dream Master really leans heavily into the pop culture Freddy era. This one is full of like full-on 80s vibes and visuals. You've got neon visuals, a rock soundtrack, Freddy going full one-liner machine in this one. But this one is also, you can argue, where the kills get really imaginative, especially one in particular. We're talking the Roach Motel transformation, one of the most disgusting and iconic things in the series. Freddy turning into a literal beach shark. It's creative chaos. But the downside to this one, coming off of part 3, is Nancy's gone. And Freddy is almost too much of a like celebrity here. You can't deny, though, that it is fun. It feels like an ultimate 80s time capsule, which bumps it up for me because I'm such a sucker for that. But it's also kind of caught somewhere, you could argue, between a badass MTV music video and a Nightmare on Elm Street film. Still so much fun. Remember what I said about even if the pizza's bad, it's still pretty good. I just have fun watching this one. Dream Master, 1988. Saw this in the theater with my brother. A rocking good time. Comes in sitting basically right here in the middle. I feel like that's right. It comes in at number 4. Check out that Steelbook. All right, coming in at number 3 is number 3, Nightmare on Elm Street. Did I grab out the right one? The Dream Warriors. I love that cover right there. Looking awesome. You got this awesome flat sheen to this. Check it out. Very, very cool. The cover, the back is in black and white, if that's hard to tell, by the way. The inside with Freddy. And if you ask, this is 87. This is the first one I remember. This is the one I saw at the theater, and then I saw part 4. And this one, I remember kind of getting the pass to go to the theater to see this one because it looked like so much fun. And of course, my brother was already a teenager, so we were all in. And you can ask any fan, for the most part, and they will tell you that Dream Warriors is one of the most beloved sequels it's in this franchise, period, full stop, the end. Freddy's back in this one. Nancy is back in this one. You kind of put aside part 2, act like it didn't happen. The kids are in a psychiatric hospital and they're fighting back with their dream powers. It's honestly a really smart idea for the rules of the dream world to kind of capture Freddy. This is something that's in the movie or the book It, where Pennywise has to, by the laws of nature and the universe, and heaven and hell, good and bad, the toad-ass space, all that kind of stuff, he has to abide by the rules of whatever he inhabits. And that's kind of the same thing here with Freddy. In a way, you could look at it with this, because his power comes in this dream world where he can do anything. But if he can do anything and he abides by those rules, so can the people, so can the kids, and they learn their dream powers to fight back. That gives us a cool-ass wizard kid, a punk rock badass, and some very iconic kills. Welcome to prime time, bitch. I love this movie. So much fun. I can watch this one. Maybe I could probably watch this one more times than the rest of them. The reason it lands at 3 on this list is while it is amazing, I love it, it leans super hard into the wisecracks. It kind of drops some of the being scary. Again, he's kind of more of a mascot than a monster. Still, the sequel cemented Freddy, this one did, as a pop culture icon, reigning horror villain that is still going today. In my opinion, it was the first movie and this movie that really gave us Freddy the way we think of Freddy. This one deserves to be this high on the list. You could argue it could be 2, but not for me. I do love it, and a very cool steelbook. And here's where things are going to get controversial for a lot of you, because at number 2, I am going 1994 and Wes Craven's A New Nightmare. Oh man, I love this movie. Love this movie. And what I don't understand, there he is as the devil, because that's what he really has become a stand-in for. What I don't understand with this one, as you see the inside art, is how so many people who claim they love Scream say they don't like this movie. Because this movie is so far ahead of its time. It walked so that Scream could run. Without this movie, you don't get Scream. Wes Craven's A New Nightmare brings Wes Craven back and Heather Langenkamp for a meta horror masterpiece, years ahead of Scream, and I love it. I'm not sure. There's a whole other darker concept underneath it too. You have Freddy bleeding into the real world, but they keep talking about how he's a deeper, darker, more evil Freddy. And the reason for that, Wes Craven explains to us in the movie and in subsequent interviews and everything since then, we kind of captured evil within the boundaries of our stories. And when you stop telling those stories, the evil, in this case, basically a stand-in for the devil, gets loose. He was basically appeased in that way. And in the movie, we actually go and see what hell looks like. We go down into hell, and there's supposed to be even more. Like, there's a full sequence with the T-Rex where we were supposed to see a full Jurassic Park style T-Rex. They couldn't afford to do it. Wes Craven wanted more exploration of hell and how Freddy became sort of the embodiment of the devil, and we kept him captured in the stories. There is a whole deep mythology to this, but then it's very meta because you have Robert Englund playing himself and Freddy Krueger. You have Heather Langenkamp playing both roles, Wes Craven, all that stuff. A very demon-like, scary evil in this one. A cool reimagining, very terrifying. You don't get all the jokes, just prime evil in this one. But audiences were not ready for that. They were used to goofy, campy Freddy, and they weren't ready for the meta element that they would be just 2 or 3 years later with Scream. But this still goes down to me as one of the smartest horror films, and definitely horror sequels, ever made. It reinvented Freddy in so many ways while still paying tribute to his roots. And honestly, I think if it had come out after Scream, it would have been huge. I think it would have been huge. But I think what would have happened is then Scream would have took all the bullets that this movie does. I think it's an incredible film. Rewatch it again, thinking of it in those terms, and I think you'll have a different opinion. For me, I think very highly of this film. It comes in at number 2. And that just leaves number 1, and there can't be a question, because sometimes you just can't beat the real thing. You cannot beat the original Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984. First time out of the gate here. We got all kinds of stuff in here, including my certificate of authenticity, which we will talk about later. As you can see, I got number 1,292 of 15,000, not 4,000. There's been a lot of hand-wringing and worry and complaining over there only being 4,000 of these. There are 15,000 of these sets. They've just sold really, really well. And maybe they'll make more. Who knows? Maybe they will not. But this film is the standard bearer for them all. It's the one that started them all. A Nightmare on Elm Street isn't just a slasher, it's a surrealist horror masterpiece. The dreamscapes, a whole different thing. Wes Craven gave us Freddy Krueger, a villain who didn't just stalk you in the real world, but in your dreams where you're the most vulnerable. And that scared me to death as a kid. I famously said this is the first horror movie I remember seeing. My dad, my brother, and I rented it back in 1986. It had just hit the video rental stores, 85, 86, whenever it was. And this is the first one I remember watching. We watched it at home, and he scared me to death because he was darker still in this original film. But you had to go to sleep, so there was no way to protect yourself from Freddy. I always say, if you wanted to avoid Michael Myers, you stayed away from Haddonfield, Illinois. If you wanted to avoid Jason, you stayed away from Crystal Lake. There was no way to avoid Freddy. Yes, he was out on Elm Street, but technically he could get you anywhere, anytime in your dreams, and you had to go to sleep eventually. But the practical effects in this one, to me, are still holding up today. Tina's ceiling death is iconic. The blood geyser from Johnny Depp making his first big starring role. The stretchy wall, which is on the back here. And then Robert Englund, who in this one is terrifying, but also just so damn charismatic that this movie, with him playing the role that way, just defined what we think of as nightmares in horror films. I cannot wait to dive into all of these in 4K. I just love this series so much. The three iconic series to me of all time, this, Halloween, and Friday the 13th, I just love so much. They marked my whole growing up, right? So I love them all very, very much. And this 4K set, if you're still with me, we will wrap this up in just a second. This thing looks incredible. Of course, I mean, the outside, this is kind of 3D. These are burnt. These are like embossed or debossed. It really just looks like Freddy's sweater. Nothing spectacular. You've got the kind of library case here with foam protectant in between each one. And you have all 7 films in their 4K glory. So this is embossed here at the top. Very cool that it sticks up. I would have liked to see something better. We have people out there who can make things that are great, that gives us all the art from back in our VHS days that we imagine, that kind of add to and celebrate like all of this art. But, you know, things happen, and, you know, maybe we can just make those ourselves, because while this is cool, you kind of see like the back nape of the neck there. I would love to see art, because back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, the VHS rental boom era, where these movies found such an audience, it was the cover art that made so much difference and so iconic, just like this image right here today. And I love it all so much. If you want to see me dive more into this, and like I said, do a 4K review of each one of these movies and with full footage, all that kind of stuff, so you can see the 4K yourself, let you know my thoughts, all that kind of stuff, I do all of that on my Patreon, so you can check that out and join us over there. But this has been so much fun because I love this. That is my rankings of the movies. None of the other two not involved in this one. Just these 7, from the worst, you know, glove to the glove wielding best of part 1. Whether you agree with this list or not, let me know. Just be nice about it. This is just how I feel about them. Should Dream Warriors have edged out a New Nightmare? Do you hate a New Nightmare? Explain to me why. Why? Especially if you love Scream. I want to know why. But if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, y'all. It really helps out the channel so much. We are spooky season focused as I record this, so it's all horror all the time. But we do all kinds of nostalgia deep dive documentaries. We do all kinds of movie recommendations lists and rankings and all that kind of stuff. I love doing it. And of course, on my Patreon, I do the 4K reviews and so much more. If you're part of that, you're going to get your name and lights here on every single video, behind the scenes looks at videos, my filmmaking, and so much more. And y'all, I really do appreciate it because it all goes back into this channel. And I just love hanging out, talking movies with you. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. It's Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon in your nightmares.